What's up, everybody? I'm your host, Joseph, and welcome to Fictioning Flow. As you all know, tomorrow is the world premiere of Thor, Love and Thunder, and I am geeked to go see that movie. I got my tickets for tomorrow, which is the Thursday sneak peek, and I know a lot of people are going to see it over the weekend, so I hope you have fun and enjoy it. And while we are kind of getting on that subject, I thought I would bring you some of my Thor and Loki variant pops. I didn't get any from the Thor Love and Thunder movie yet because I haven't really seen those out in the public that much, but I do have something I think you'll be really excited to take a look at. And I guess I finally found a reason to wear this Marvel Collector's Core shirt from the Disney Plus What If box. You know, I didn't really like this. I said I really didn't have a reason for it, but I guess I'll do it for you all. And I may even wear it tomorrow. Depends how I feel about the movie. All right, so I want to start off by sharing with you some exclusive Marvel Collector Core Funko Pops that I got years ago. So my first pop is from the Thor Ragnarok movie. So in that Disney Plus box, which you can get on Amazon, is still available, they came with two pops. So the first one, of course, is Thor himself. This is Thor in his gladiator outfit when he is getting ready to battle the Hulk for the first time on planet Skaar. So for those who have seen Thor Ragnarok, you remember that scene. He came in, he kind of didn't know what was going on. They cut his hair, he lost the hammer, and he's like, well, what's going on? He had to battle. He's like, I'll fight anybody. Like, oh, it's a friend from work. Right? You know, so he was really excited to fight, you know, with the Hulk. He's like, I know this guy, we're work friends. So that's where this particular pop comes from. I love the detail and design on this pop. You can see he has that scar with that painting, with that war paint on his face, as well as the really good detail in the shield, as well as the mace that he's holding. I really did like this one. I was glad I got this pop. It was pretty cool. I think they should have done more of these from this series. They only did a few, but I really enjoyed this one. The Hulk one, which was really harder to find, that was one of the first big pops that I was trying to get, but every time, and it was a Target exclusive. But every Target I went to, even going online, because of the weight of it, the hammer in the Hulk's hand kept breaking. So like I saw it in the store one time, it was broken off in the packaging. So it was hard to get that one, and I know for a long time, a lot of people didn't have it. My next Thor Ragnarok pop is of Loki, and I absolutely adore this version of Loki. This is Loki in his fighting stance when he was kind of doing that last battle. On spoiler warning, when Hela had come to Asgard to help destroy it, and Loki is now fully in battle with Thor. They're kind of working together and doing their thing to fight off Hela and her forces. All right, and I love it because Loki has his full exaggerated horns on his crown. He has the two blades that he can pull from anywhere, and he is just going to battle with Hela and her forces. This is a very good pop as well. Again, the detail on the crown, his cape looks really, really good. And I love the coloring that they put into on his two daggers. It's really a nice, bright kind of like, or dark blue, right? It has a different contrast to everything else in his outfit, the green and the gold. So it really plays off really well. That blue was also like displayed on part of his crown. You can see like right in the middle, right? So they really did a good job with this pop with the design and the coloring. This next pop is a personal favorite of mine. It comes from Loki's solo book when he was trying to redeem himself. And I love the design on this particular pop. This was a Previews magazine exclusive pop. It came in a box with the t-shirt as well as the Funko Pop. So it's kind of hard to get the detail, but Loki is actually holding Thor's hammer. In the comic cover, I believe he's flipping it. So it's like in midair, but he actually got to possess Mjolnir. All right. It's a little different Loki. I love the detailing on his jacket. Has a little fur around the collar. Hair's a little shorter, a different style, shorter horns. And this is where he was, like I say, trying to do something a little bit different. So he was able to keep the hammer for a while. And Thor kind of was like, hey, how did you get this? And they kind of had this talk about why Loki at the time was worthy and not Thor. Because Loki was trying to auto-correct all his mischievous deeds. For every good act, it will remove one of his nefarious acts in the Book of Time, like the Book of Destiny, that kept a record of all the Asgardian gods and what they did. So this was from that particular series. Definitely check out that book. They also have a Funko Pop version of the cover, which of that issue #1, which also came in the box. Hard to find, but you may be able still to get some of those from previews or, of course, as usual, eBay. But look out for that markup pricing. The next variant is one that I've shown before, and it's part of the Infinity Warp series. This is where, once again, spoiler warning, Gamora was hunting the stones, tried to destroy them, to do something different with them, and ended up fusing the stones together, which fused worlds and people. And so we had a new character called Iron Hammer. And this is a Walgreens exclusive Funko Pop. So once again, another really great detailing design on this particular pop. The armor has some Asgardian like runes in it in the front of it, so giving homage to both Asgard and Tony Stark. So it has that Iron Man design, but he also has this hammer. It has part of Mjolnir, and it has this like lightning that's circled around it. And it's kind of like a mystical Asgardian magic that is embedded into the hammer. This particular version of Thor, if you will, was a little bit different. So if you can imagine, he looks like Iron Man, Tony Stark, but he has blonde hair and some of it is a little braided. He has the same kind of over-exaggerated ego as Tony Stark, but the playfulness and strength of Thor. So it's a really bad combination for those who are willing to go up against him. He's also pretty smart too, so it kind of is different from Thor. It kind of looked at stereotypically as like the dumber god, or kind of like the jock or frat boy type of style. But this particular version of Thor was actually pretty smart. So he created the suit, he created the armor, and he got the hammer and he modified it. So a good combination, and one of my favorite variants, which is Iron Hammer. All right, this next variant of Thor I premiered on the channel during my holiday series. If you go back and look at that old video, it is a gingerbread version of Thor. So this is a Hot Topic exclusive. It is Thor in gingerbread format. I absolutely adore this Funko Pop. The design is perfect. And this is a special Hot Topic exclusive one because it has this glittering. There's a regular version that does not have it. But if you can see the detail that it went into for making this particular Funko Pop, you have the hammer and the handle is a candy cane, and then the actual Mjolnir piece is like a piece of blue rock candy. And it really has a nice iridescent look to it. Without the glitter, you can kind of see through it a little bit, but it looks really perfect. And if you notice how thick this piece is, like an actual gingerbread cookie. I like how they added that. Most pops are not made in this dimension, but for these particular Marvel Cookie Edition holiday pops, they really got into designing what a cookie cutout would look like of this particular character. Moving right along, this next pop will be featured in the movie Thor Love and Thunder, which you will see the MCU premiere of Jane Foster as Thor, which is played by Natalie Portman. So here we go. This is also a Marvel Collector's Thor exclusive. I have shown this one before on the channel. But this is the very first Funko Pop of Jane Foster as Thor. Another one has not been created until recently for the Love and Thunder movie. So this was from a series called Secret Wars, where Thor became unworthy, which comes from a graphic novel called Avengers Access, where basically the Red Skull found a way to switch everyone's personality. So all the good guys became evil, all the evil guys kind of became good, and there was some anti-heroes who kind of fell right in the middle of both. So during that time when Thor did all his unworthy acts, he lost the right to carry Mjolnir. Mjolnir was stuck on the moon and no one could get it out for there. But then for some reason, the hammer reached out to Jane Foster, Thor's at one-time girlfriend. At the time, she was actually dying of cancer. And so she didn't have any hope, and she was going through all these medicines, and so it was a last-ditch effort. She was like kind of transported to the moon. I won't go into details how that happened, but definitely check it out. And she picked up the hammer, and the inscription changed because it was like something with whoever's worthy, he will be granted the powers of Thor. Then it became she or anyone. And so she did it. And the crazy thing is she did get all the powers of Thor. She became stronger, smarter, but in an interesting twist, her cancer stopped. When she was Thor, she had no cancer. She was in perfect health. But the downside, when she returned back into Jane Foster, she would have to go through chemo again. So it was like this love-hate relationship she had with Mjolnir and becoming Thor. So it was a really good graphic novel. I suggest you check it out. And the detail on this pop is good. If you look at it, I love all the armor, how it's just like Thor's, but a little bit different. If you notice, the hammer is not cracked like it is on the movie. Or if you've seen any recent toy examples of marketing, the Mjolnir has been broken. That's a direct result from Hela breaking the hammer in Thor Ragnarok. So if you have not seen that, definitely watch that before you watch Thor Love and Thunder. Last but not least, like I said, I don't have a lot of them. This next particular Funko Pop was a lucky find. I got to give you the story before I show it to you. So I showed this before on my Facebook page that there were some pre-orders for a particular Funko Pop, a version of Thor that comes from the Disney Plus series Loki. It was really hard to miss, except for those really keen eyes. You would have missed seeing the scene. I can't remember the episode specifically, but in the Loki series, when he travels to this interdimensional place and when he starts to meet all the variants, right? Because he meets one in the first, then he meets he goes to a world where he meets all the different variants of Loki. And in one scene where they're kind of like showing the earth and going through it, and they kind of scroll down, and once again, it is so fast you barely see it. There's a version of Thor, it's a variant which actually has been in the comics for years, and this is Throg, or better known as Thor Frog. So it is a super empowered frog that got a sliver of Mjolnir broke off. And this frog found it and touched it and became worthy and transformed into Throg instead of being just a regular frog. It had his own Mjolnir. But in that scene, he is in a little capsule box and he's trying to break through. He's jumping, trying to break through, but it's really, really quick. And I happened to be at Target today and I saw it. Now I had pre-ordered it, but I was like, wait a minute, it's here? So I canceled my pre-order because it don't tell it how long it will take for it to come in the mail. And I just bought the one off the shelf. There was only two and I got one of the last ones left. This is Throg, Frog of Thunder from the Disney Plus Loki series. And this design is perfect. He's in that jar, he's leaping, trying to get out. It's exactly how he was in the show. The cape, the hand stuck to the glass, it's perfect. It can get no better. Only thing that would make this better if he actually had the little Mjolnir in there with him, which of course he would be able to break out his glass at that point. It is a Target exclusive. They also have shirts that go along with this. So Target has been doing this lately where they have a package of just a Funko Pop design shirt of a character, and they did have that there, but they didn't have a few of them, so I totally ignored that part. But I was so thankful for being able to get this deluxe pop of Throg. For your reading recommendations, there are two books that Thor Love and Thunder is based off of. One is Gorr the God Butcher, written by Jason Aaron. You should definitely check that out to get a little history of Gorr and how he became this God Butcher and why he feels the way about gods and his whole mission that all gods must die. It was one of my favorite books when it came out. I definitely read it and I had the original issues. Pick up that because there's a lot of based on that particular graphic novel. So the other book to check out is When Jane Foster Became the Mighty Thor. I think that book is heavily woven into the plot line of Thor Love and Thunder. The top reading recommendations in order are Avengers Access, then you should definitely read Gorr the God Butcher, followed by Jane Foster the Mighty Thor. All right, and those are my Thor and Loki variant Funko Pops. I hope you all have a great time going to see Thor Love and Thunder. I know I will. I'll do a quick review, no spoilers, tomorrow once I see it. Before, I wanted to give you a little bit of history before we go. So if you all think about this, where do we get the names of different things? Well, some days come from some Asgardians, if you didn't know this. So Odin, Thor's father, right? He went by many names. But one of his names was Wuzin. And Wuzin later became a day to worship for Norse people. So they used to worship Odin on this day. Once again, his name was Wuzin. And then another one, obviously, was his son, Thor. And they worshiped Thor on the following day. And the last person was Freya, Thor's mother, right? And she was worshipped the day after that. So in order, It's Odin, Thor, and Freya. So once again, Odin used to be called Wuzin. That was one of his names. Wuzin later became known as Wednesday, which is also another one of his names. So Wednesday is the day we worship Odin. Thor became Thor's Day, or as we like to call it, Thursday. And of course, you guessed it, Freya became Friday, and we worship her on Friday. So that's where the origin of those names for the days of the week come from. I don't know about Monday and Tuesday, but Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday came from the worshiping of Odin, Thor, and Freya. And that's a little quick history for you. I hope you all have fun and enjoy Thor Love and Thunder in theaters starting tomorrow with a sneak peek, and officially on Friday, July 8th. Let me know what you think. Which pops did you like the most? Don't forget to leave a comment below telling me which pop you thought was really great, what other pops or Thor pops or Loki variants would you like to see. And also don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and I will catch you next time. Peace. If you don't have it, you are truly missing it. What's up? We are talking about Fiction Ink Flow. What's up? If you don't have it, you are truly missing it. Fiction Ink Flow. What's up?